Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to Lake Stevens Vikings varsity baseball here from Lake Stevens High School for the second home game this season. As you listen to game number 6 of the 2019 varsity baseball season, the Lake Stevens Vikings playing against the Meadowdale Mavericks. The Vikings entering the season going 4-1, entering this game going 4-1. Winning their last 2 games and coming off a 7-5 win on the road against Bellevue, while the Meadowdale Mavericks entered this game going 0-2, losing to Everett 7-3 and Jackson by the score of 9-1. The starting pitchers for both teams, Lake Stevens making his first start of the year will be junior Xander Fogel against Luke Hunnewell for the Meadowdale Mavericks. When we come back, it'll be the top of the first inning. Xander Fogel will be on the mound against the top 3 hitters for the Meadowdale Mavericks, searching for their first win of the season. And we are now back in the top of the first inning here between Lake Stevens and Meadowdale. Xander Fogel, the first pitch to the leadoff hitter, right fielder number 13, Parker Cumberland, is a low ball 1. The first 3 batters for Xander Fogel making his first start of the year will be Parker Cumberland, the shortstop, Cole Duncan, slow roller going towards the Meadowdale dugout. Count is even. It'll be Parker Cumberland, Cole Duncan, and Mason Vaughn, the center fielder. As Xander Fogel making his 3rd appearance this season in his first start. Count is even, wind up 1-1. Fly ball, that one going into short left center field. Tanner and Cameron are calling for it, and it'll be caught by the left fielder Tanner Lind for the first out of the top of the first. Here is the shortstop, number 1, Cole Duncan. Xander Fogel, his 3rd game in his first start. He has thrown 3 innings, allowing 4 hits, 2 earned runs. 2 batters were walked and struck out 6, has an ERA of 4.67. No wins, no losses. First pitch by Xander. Ground ball, this one going to Theron. It bobbles in and out of the glove of Theron, is able to get it in time. Throws it to the first baseman, Trey Long, for the second out. Here is the center fielder, Mason Vaughn. And the defensive positions for the Lake Stevens Vikings, as told by manager Josh White. On the mound is Xander Fogel. Behind the plate is Tommy Lindgren. In the infield at third base is Theron Perkins. Shortstop is Hunter Zalasko. Second base is Aaron Lampinen. And first base is Trey Long. First pitch, a 1-hopper to Tommy for a ball 1. On the outfield, left field is Tanner Lind. Center field, Cameron Austin. And at right field is Devin McWaters. Playing in the spot of Caden Pattison, who is a reserve for the Vikings today. 1-0 count, wind up from Fogel. Outside ball 2. The lineup for the Meadowdale Mavericks, as told by manager Bill Hummel. The first 3 hitters, Parker Cumberland, Cole Duncan, Mason Vaughn. The middle of the order, the 4-hitter, pitcher Luke Hunnewell. The 5 spot is the left fielder Caleb Berry, number 11, the 2-0. Low, ball 3. Count is a 3-0 count. And at the 6th spot is the third baseman Brady Johnson. In the bottom 3 hitters, the first baseman, Finn Wendt, the catcher, Nolan Eskew, and the 9-hitter second baseman, Jeremy Asher, the 3-0. And ball 4, Xander Fogel walking Mason Vaughn on 4 pitches. And it'll bring up the starting pitcher for Meadowdale, number 15, Luke Hunnewell. Meadowdale entering this game, no wins and 2 losses. They lost 7-3 to the Everett Seagulls in the first game. And then 2 days ago, while the Vikings were playing at Bannerwood Park, they lost to Jackson 9-1. Both games were at home. First pitch, outside. Ball 1 to Tommy. Xander Fogel, he was the 3rd pitcher in the Vikings 7-5 win over the Bellevue Wolverines through 2 innings and throwing 26 pitches. And the 1-0, a strike 1 looking to Hunnewell. And in that game, 2 hits, an unearned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts in that game, bring a season total up to 6 after having 1 in the appearance before that, which is the first game of the season against Snohomish. The 1-1, foul ball. His defense count is 1-2. The reserves for the Meadowdale Mavericks are 4. It is Casey Toller, Zach Matson, Connor Kaufman, and Dalton Long. One player that Meadowdale is missing is star sophomore Cole Nelson, who has an arm issue. The 1-2. Under. The ball in the dirt outside, ball 2. And Mason Vaughn will get the second on the wild pitch. Throw to second to the shortstop. Hunter Zalasco is not in time. Meadowdale has a runner in scoring position. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Xander with the chance to get out of the inning right here. And the quick pitch, 2-2, strike 3 called. And Xander Fogel strikes out Hunnewell to end the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on. It is Meadowdale nothing, Lake Stevens coming up as Hunnewell will walk up to the mound to face off against the first 3 hitters. It is Tanner Lynn, the left fielder, Hunter Zalasco, the shortstop, and Theron Perkins, the third baseman. Again, Meadowdale 0, Lake Stevens coming up, going the bottom of the first inning. And we are now back in the bottom of the first inning. Meadowdale could not get a run on the board against the Lake Stevens Vikings and Xander Fogel. Now it's the Vikings' turn to try and get a run against Luke Hunnewell. First pitch to Tanner Lind, a fly ball going into right center field. It is the center fielder Mason Vaughn calling for it for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Tanner Lind, Hunter Zalasco, and Theron Perkins. And Zalasco will walk up to the plate for the first time this afternoon here on March 21st. 2019, the Vikings wearing their old white uniforms. First pitch, strike 1 looking. And he'll line up for the Lake Stevens Vikings as told by manager Josh White. First 3 hitters were Tanner Lynn, Hunter Zalasco, and Theron Perkins, the 0-1. Outside, count is even. Middle of the order is Aaron Lampinen, the second baseman at cleanup. The first baseman Trey Long at the 5 spot, and the designated hitter Ethan Jansen at the 6 spot. The 1-1. Line shot. And this will be fair. Gets past the third baseman, Brady Johnson. Zalasco looking the 2. The throw will be cut off by the shortstop, Cole Duncan. And Hunter Zalasco with his 3rd double of the season. And the Vikings have a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the first. And here is Theron Perkins, statistically one of the hottest players on the team, is 6 for 16 with a 375 average and has 3 doubles on the season. First pitch, upstairs, ball 1, is 375 average, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and was hit once. Go 6. And the 1-0 by the junior Hunnewell, ball 2. And after Ethan Jansen at the 6th spot. At the 7th spot is the center fielder Cameron Austin. At the 8th spot is the catcher Tommy Lindgren. And at the 9th spot is the right fielder Devin McWaters. 2-0 Hunnewell, the pitch. Line shot. This is going to the second baseman, in and out of the glove of the second baseman who throws to first. Is it in time? Yes, it is. It gets in and out of the glove of the second baseman. Jeremy Asher was able to pick up the ball, throw it to the first baseman. Finn went in time. It moves Zalasco to third, and it brings up the cleanup hitter, Aaron Lampinen. Another solid hitter at the plate statistically, 333 average, 5 for 15 with a double, and 4 RBIs on the year. The first pitch, Hunnewell, and a 1-hopper to the catcher, Nolan Askew, ball 1. And the defensive positions for Meadowdale is told by manager Bill Hummel. On the mound is Luke Hunnewell. Behind the plate is Nolan Askew. At third base is Brady Johnson. Shortstop is Cole Duncan. And second baseman Jeremy Asher, the 1-0. And ball 2 goes inside. And at first base is Finn Wentz. On the outfield, at left field is Caleb Berry. At center field is Mason Vaughn. And at right field is Parker Cumberland, the 2-0. Upstairs, ball 3. And the 3-0. And a ball 4. Luke Hunnewell walking Aaron Lampinen on 4 pitches. And Lampinen on the bat toss back to the dugout almost injures the number 6 hitter Ethan Jansen. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter Trey Long. He enters this game going 1 for 12 with a double. With that double being against Mount Lake Terrace. First pitch, fly ball. That one playable. This one going right near the first base bag. Finn Went calling for it and will be making the catch to end the first inning. It'll be no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. It is 0-0 at the end of 1 as Xander Fogel walks back up to the mound at the top of the 2nd inning, facing off against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters Caleb Berry, Brady Johnson, and Finn Wentz. Again, it is no score after 1 full inning of play. And we are now back in the top of the 2nd inning. No score between Meadowdale and Lake Stevens. Xander Fogel against number 11, Caleb Berry, the left fielder. This will hit Berry on the first pitch to start the top of the 2nd. And now bring up number 17, Brady Johnson, the starting 3rd baseman. He only played in 1 of the 2 games this season. In the most recent game, 9-1 loss against Jackson. He went 0 for 1 in that game. And Xander, first pitch. And a strike 1 looking right down the middle. Xander throwing 7 balls, 6 strikes for 13 total pitches through one inning of play. And Luke Hunnewell throwing 7 balls and 5 strikes for 12. So far a pretty quick first inning. Count at 0-1. Xander, the wind-up first pitch. And the next pitch. Count is even at 1-1. And the first 3 batters that Xander is going to face in the top of the 2nd. That was Caleb Berry, who is at first base, Brady Johnson, who's at the plate, and Finn Wentz. And the 1-1 line shot straight to the second baseman, Aaron Lampinen. The throw to first is not in time to get Caleb Berry. A nice pick by Trey Long and a nice catch by Aaron Lampinen. They get the first out of the top of the 2nd. Here is the first baseman, Finn Wentz. In 2 games, he is 0 for 6. He has yet to get a hit with 2 strikeouts. Berry just getting to the bag in time. To keep Meadowdale's chances of getting a runner alive. Throw to second. Runner goes. Does he get him? Yes, he does! A nice throw by Tommy Lindgren to the second baseman, Aaron Lampinen, and Caleb Berry is out at second base. They caught him stealing. Count starts at 1-0. And a ground ball past the glove of Fogel into the glove of Lampinen. Throw to first is in time. And a very quick top of the 2nd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Highlighted by a nice throw behind the plate by Tommy Lindgren. Count stays at 0-0. As we go into the bottom of the 2nd inning, Luke Hunnewell in the bottom of the 2nd will face off against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Ethan Jansen, Cameron Austin, and the guy who threw out Caleb Berry at second base, Tommy Lindgren. Count is 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the 2nd inning. And we are now back in the bottom of the 2nd. The first pitch from Ethan Jansen as the second baseman, Jeremy Asher, drops the baseball and is not able to throw to first. The Vikings have their first base runner on an error by the junior second baseman, Jeremy Asher, to start the bottom of the 2nd.
All right, Cam, base knock right here. Let's go, baby, Cam. Let's go now,
Now bring up Cameron Austin, the starting center fielder. Throw to first is not in time. Cameron Austin entering this game 3 for 13 with a .231 average with a double, 4 runs, 3 walks, and struck out twice. He's currently 4 for 4 on stolen bases this year, while Ethan Jansen and the fly ball, this one going foul. Count will start at 0-1. Ethan Jansen on the base pass. He is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. And he throw to first not in time. Gets past the first baseman, Finn Wentz. And Jansen not able to go to second. And Ethan Jansen will stay at first. Count stays at 0-1.
Let's go, MIT!
Count stays at 0-1. Hunnewell, the pitch to Austin. Fly ball, that's a foul. Going over to Lake Stevens dugout, count is 0-2. Let's take a look at what other games the Wesco 4A teams played. There were a couple other games on Tuesday that we didn't get the final score from. Hunnewell getting the sign from Eskew, peeking over at first base. Timeout by Cameron. There were 2 games from Tuesday that we didn't get the final score from. The first one being Kamiak and Shorecrest. Shorecrest winning that game 2-1, and Mariner against Cedarcrest, with Mariner playing both on Tuesday and Wednesday and are still winless. The 0-2 outside ball won. Mariner, they played against Cedarcrest. They lost 10-1, and then they played against Shorecrest yesterday on March 20th, and they lost 12-2. In addition to Mount Vernon beating Cedro Woolley, moving their record up to 500. Hunnewell stepping off the mound. Mount Vernon, they came into this week with a 1-3 record. They are now 3-3 as they beat Ferndale 9-1 and Cedro Woolley 11-1. So they're looking pretty solid so far. As for Mariner, on the other hand, they entered this week winless at 0-2. They are now 0-4. And a timeout by Meadowdale. Bill Hummel, along with the catcher Nolan Eskew, walking up to the mound. Is not very happy about the fact that Hunnewell keeps throwing to first. I get it. He wants to get the guy out, yeah. He's getting pretty nervous out there, especially in the bottom of the second inning. Count stays at 1-2 strikes. Eskew walking back to the back of the mound. Hunnewell looking at first base towards Ethan Jansen. Count is 1-2. The pitch. Fly ball. That's another foul. And Hunnewell 7 balls and 5 strikes for 12 pitches in the bottom of the first inning. And this is one of 2 games that I will be playing today in the Wesco Conference. The other one being Kamiak playing at Meridian Park Fields in Shoreline against Shorewood High School. The 1-2 line shot. This is foul right next to the Meadowdale bullpen. And then on Friday and Saturday, those are 2 games that the Vikings will not be playing on. So on Friday, it'll be Jackson at Mount Lake Terrace on the all-turf field. Everything is turf, even the outfield. Meadowdale playing at Cascade. That will be tomorrow. 1-2. Runner goes. Foul ball. It's the backstop. And the count stays at 1-2. So Meadowdale, after this game, will play on the road at East Casino Road against the Cascade Bruins. Monroe playing at Shorecrest, and Kamiak at Linwood. Those are games on Friday the 22nd. And then there are 2 games on the 23rd. Kentwood playing at Glacier Peak. The 1-2. Hard hit ball. This one going into right center field. This one is going to fall. Yes, it will. It will fall. Ethan Jansen going to third. The throw is in time. Yes, it will. And now Cameron Austin's in the middle of a rundown. Third baseman going to the second baseman, and the first baseman drops the ball. Cameron Austin's safe at first. Ethan Jansen was running towards third after the ball fell between the center fielder Mason Vaughn and the right fielder Parker Cumberland. It will be a 9-6-5 for the first out of the bottom of the second, and there is still a runner on first for Tommy Lindgren. He enters this game going 3 for 10, 2 of his hits being in the last game against Bellevue, 2 singles. Throw to first, not in time. Cameron, a little more experience at the base paths, 4 for 4 on stolen bases. And Hunnewell, first pitch. Fly ball. This one is playable. This one going into short center field. Mason Vaughn is calling for it and will make the catch for the second out. And that will bring in number 13, Devin McWaters, because of the new, not the new white home jerseys, but the old white home jerseys that the Vikings usually wear with the purple caps. Instead of Devin wearing jersey number 11, he is wearing jersey number 13. Throw to first, not in time. And the reserves for the Lake Stevens Vikings, Bailey Corley, Caden Pattison, Dominic Gray, Alex Peterson, and Alex Keeley.
Let's go now, Deb. Right here, kid.
The pitch, runner goes, Askew. The throw to second will be not in time as Cameron is now 5 for 5 in stolen bases. Count starts at 1-0.
Let's go, kid. I'm back to you, Daddy. Dad, let's go.
There you go, 13 on that skid. Here you go.
Hey, base is all we need, kid.
And the 1-0. Inside, strike one. Count is even.
Let's go, Devin, right here. Take a hack. Let's go.
Let's go. Here we go. Hey, come on, Dad. Let's go.
At 1-1.
I'm back.
Oh, no, 1-3 skid.
Let's go, kid.
And the 1-0. Foul ball hits the fence. Count is 1-2. And then after the week is over, on Monday, March 25th and Tuesday, March 26th, there will be a few more non-conference games before conference play will officially start on Wednesday, March 27th. That is when Lake Stevens will play the Jackson Timberwolves, playing them in the first conference series instead of the last conference series. 1-2. Inside, throw to third is offline, gets past the third baseman Brady Johnson, goes over to the head, and Cameron will slide in safely. And the Vikings will take an early 1-0 lead on a stolen base by Cameron Austin and an error by the catcher, Nolan Askew. Count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2. Foul ball. So on Monday, Linwood will be playing at Cascade. And on Tuesday, Glacier Peak will play at Meadowdale, and Shorewood will play at Monroe before conference play will officially begin on Wednesday. It will be Lake Stevens at Jackson, Glacier Peak at Monroe, Mariner at Mount Vernon, and Cascade at Kamiak. And the 2-2 inside, full count.
Hey, come on, Dad. Let's go here. Get out.
We're saucing it in here. We're saucing it in here.
And the payoff pitch, the windup from Hunnewell. Inside, strike 3 called. And that will be the end of the second inning. 1 run on 1 hit, 2 errors, and nobody left on. As Lake Stevens will take an early 1-0 lead off of a error by the catcher Nolan Askew as he tried to throw out Cameron Austin at third. It airmails the third baseman Brady Johnson, and from there Cameron Austin was able to score to make it a 1-0 game. Xander Fogel back on the mound in the top of the third. He'll face off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters of Nolan Askew, Jeremy Asher, and Parker Cumberland. In the top of the third, Lake Stevens leads this game 1-0. And we are now back in the top of the third inning. Lake Stevens taking an early 1-0 lead over the Meadowdale Mavericks. Xander Fogel back on the mound after throwing only 6 pitches in the top of the second. He'll face off against the number 8 hitter, the starting catcher, number 6, Nolan Askew. Throw to first pitch. Low ball 1, Askew. He tried throwing out Cameron Austin at second to no avail, then tried throwing out Cameron Austin at third, where it goes over the head of the third baseman Brady Johnson, allowing Cameron to score the 1-0. Ball 2. And through 2 games, Nolan is 1 for 4 with a run, a walk, and has struck out twice in 2 games. The 2-0. And a ball 3.
Attack mode. Attack. Go.
And Xander getting the sign from Tommy Lindgren, the windup in the 3-0. Strike 1 looking. Count is at 3-1. And the 3-1 fly. A foul ball hits the fence. Count is full at 3-2. Xander, the last time he started a game was in the 2018 Wesco 4A semifinals. They were playing against the Cascade Bruins, who are the Wesco 4A regular season champions. Wind up in the payoff. And in the dirt, ball 4. And Meadowdale starts off for the second consecutive inning with a leadoff runner. Here is Jeremy Asher, the second baseman. He only played one game out of the 2 this year, and that was in the first game of the year against the Everett Seagulls. It'll be a pinch runner for Nolan Askew. That'll be the sophomore, number 38, Dalton Long.
Ground ball, yep. Come boys.
And Asher in the game against Everett, he was 0 for 2, striking out once.
Go X. Good ground ball, kid. Let's go. Let's get 2.
And throw to first, not in time. To try and get Dalton Long in that last start. Xander went 4 1/3, throwing 4 hits, allowing 2 earned runs out of 4 total. 4 walks, striking out 2 batters and 83 pitches. And the first pitch, outside, ball 1.
Tommy, watch the delay. Get the ball back.
And the throw to first, not in time. And Xander at the 2-0. Or the 1-0, my mistake. The strike 1 looking.
Oh, Tommy.
Count is even at 1-1. Xander looking quickly at the first base for Dalton Long. Tries bunting for it, goes foul. They'll go towards the backstop. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lake Stevens wearing their old white home uniforms, while Meadowdale wearing their blue road uniforms, blue cap, and a light blue word, Mavs, right in the front of the jersey with a number under it. Throw to first is not in time. And Jeremy Asher wearing a black helmet with a red R on it. Throw to first is not in time. Count is now 2-2 as the pitch is outside. And Jeremy Asher again, he's wearing a black helmet with a red R on it. Probably the closest thing I've seen in a while representing Team Rocket over here. The 2-2 upstairs now full. And the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Xander Fogle striking out the number 9 hitter, Jeremy Asher.
One pitch away. Back. Go.
That'll bring us back to the top of the order. Parker Cumberland, the right fielder. Second time around, he had a 1-1 pitch to the left fielder, Tanner Lind, for the first out of the top of the first inning. And Xander looking at Dalton Long at first pitch. Low, ball 1. Ball gets away from the catcher, Tommy Lindgren, and Dalton Long is at second. On another wild pitch by Xander.
Banner 1.
And Xander getting the sign from Tommy Lindgren. Looking over at second. The 1-0. And this will hit Parker. The second hit batter for Xander Fogle. Meadowdale has multiple runners on for the first time this afternoon in the top of the third. Timeout by Lake Stevens. Tommy going up to talk to Xander, as they'll bring up Cole Duncan, who grounded out to the third baseman Theron Perkins on the first pitch he saw.
Tanner.
And Xander looking over second, first pitch. And a ball one. Just gets above the strike zone. Meadowdale last year, they partly relied on the number of talented sophomores that they had. Throw to second, not in time to get Dalton Long. Last year, Meadowdale, they finished the year with 17 wins and 7 losses, and they went 13-4, finishing with the Wesco 3A South regular season title. They won in the first round against the Stanwood Spartans, shutting them out 6-0. And then they lost 9-1 to Marysville Pilchuck in the semifinals, to 1-0. Line shot, this one going into center field. This will fall. Dalton Long's going to round around third. He is going to score. And Parker Cumberland is at third. And it will be an RBI single by Cole Duncan. Meadowdale has tied this game up at 1 apiece. And now here is Mason Vaughn, who was walked on 4 pitches and was stranded at second in the top of the first inning. And for the Mavericks, after losing to Pilchuck, timeout by Lake Stevens. And it looks like they are going to take Xander Fogel out of the game in the top of the third inning, and they're going to bring in number 1, Dominic Gray. Here to try and stop the Mavericks from taking the lead for the first time in this game. It is the top of the third inning, 1 out, and runners on first and third. Game is tied at 1 between Lake Stevens and Meadowdale. New pitcher Dominic Gray is on the mound for the Vikings. And we are now back into the top of the third inning. Meadowdale has just tied this game up 1 apiece on an RBI single by Cole Duncan. The Vikings bring in a new pitcher in number 1, Dominic Gray, making his 3rd appearance this year. No wins and no losses with an ERA of 5.21. The first pitch to Mason Vaughn is a ball 1. Xander Fogel leaves this game 2 1/3 innings pitched, 35 pitches total. 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Currently 1 earned run, although that may change. The 1-0. Outside, ball 2. And Dominic, the windup in the 2-0. And a ball 3. And another 3-0 count for Mason Vaughn at the plate. Dominic Gray, 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. It tied for the team lead entering today's game with Devin McWaters. The 3-0, check, swing, strike 1 looking. And Gray, the throw to first, not in time to get Cole Duncan. And the 3-1. Outside, ball 4, Meadowdale. As the base is loaded with 1 out.
Force on, let's go. Easy way.
And I'll bring up Luke Hunnewell, who struck out looking to end the top of the first.
Aaron, know your back end here. Double play depth, know your runner. Aaron, back. Run, look.
And Dominic, first pitch.
Nice pitch.
And a ball 1 upstairs. And Gray, the windup, 1-0. And a strike 1 looking, count is even. Luke Hunnewell enters this game. He was 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs, a double. He was hit once and struck out 3 times, now make that 4 times. this season in 2 games. 1-1. Outside ball 2.
John's a hitter, huh?
Hey, pitch contact.
Come on, dog.
And Dominic, the 2-1. And a strike 2 called. The count is even again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Done, buddy. Keep it on the infield. Yep. On up.
And so Meadowdale, after losing to Marysville Pilchuck, they play in the consolation semifinals against Linwood, ending their season 8-5. The 2-2. Inside, ball 3, full count.
On now, Beth. Go left.
Full count, 3-2 with the bases loaded. Game is tied at 1, and after the Mavs beat Linwood 8-5, ending their season. Their season, unfortunately, ended on a comeback by Arlington in a winner-to-state game at Everett Memorial. Payoff, fly ball, foul. They were up 4-0 against the Arlington Eagles before the Mavs lost 5-4. They also lost a number of players as well, such as Will Schaefer, Johnny Kier, Tommy Dimmick, and Travis Hagan. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. Meadowdale has the lead.
Get the ball and throw it.
And a timeout by Lake Stevens. Josh White walking up to the mound along with Tommy Lindgren as Caleb Berry comes up to the plate. He got hit on the first pitch he saw from Xander Fogel in the second inning, and now they're going to take Gray out of the game. And now they're going to bring in Colton Hogel, ready, third pitcher of this top of the third. And we'll take another break here at the top of the third. Meadowdale now leads the game 2-1, bases loaded, still with 1 out. And we are now back into the top of the third inning. Meadowdale has just taken a 2-1 lead over the Lake Stevens Vikings. And Josh White has brought in the third pitcher for the Vikings and the second pitching change in this inning, and that is number 17, Colton Hogel, making his 4th appearance of the year against Caleb Berry. Hogel, first pitch. Strike 1 looking. Caleb Berry got hit on the first pitch he saw and then was thrown out trying to steal second. Currently 2-0 with an ERA of 0 in 3 games this year. The 0-1 by Colton. Strike 2 looking. Count is 0-2. He has thrown 6 innings, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs. He has walked 3 batters and struck out 5.
Oh, boys. Get it, kid.
And Colton. And the 0-2. Foul ball. So Dominic Gray, no recorded outs, throwing 12 pitches, allowing no hits. Currently no earned runs against him, but that might soon change. 2 walks and no strikeouts. And the 0-2 by Hogel. Fly ball, short one. This will go into left field. Caught by the left fielder, Tanner Lynn. The throw home that is caught by Theron. Throw home, no, he's not in time. As Tommy Lindgren dropped the ball. It'll be a sacrifice fly by Caleb Berry. That was caught in short left field by Tanner. The throw was cut off by Theron, who threw low to Tommy Lindgren, a little too low apparently as the ball rolled away from Tommy. And the score is now 3-1. Meadowdale. So now here's Brady Johnson. There will be runners on second and third. Mason Vaughn moving to third. Luke Hunnewell moving to second. First pitch by Colton. First pitch is a foul. That will finish Xander's stat line. 2 1/3, 1 hit, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. as Meadowdale now has a 3-1 lead over Lake Stevens. As Colton the 0-1. Another foul ball. Count once again is at 0-2. And Colton getting the sign from Tommy. And the 0-2. And inside, ball one.
Baby, I like it. Little flat, help him out.
On a 1-1 pitch, Brady flew out to the second baseman, Aaron Lampinen, back in the top of the second. Colton, the windup in the 1-2. Fly ball, this one going into shallow right. That will be caught by Devin McWaters. What a play by Devin McWaters to end the top of the third. That will end the inning. 3 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. Meadowdale has a 3-1 lead in the top of the third. Luke Hunnewell back on the mound. He'll face off against the top 3 hitters in the order, Tanner Lynn, Hunter Zelasco, and Theron Perkins. We'll see if the Vikings can get the game going their way once again in the bottom of the third. 3-1 Meadowdale. And we are now back into the bottom of the third inning. Meadowdale, after trailing 1-0, has a 3-1 lead with Luke Hunnewell back on the mound, facing off against the top of the order for the second time around. Starting off with Tanner Lind, who flew out to the center fielder Mason Vaughn for the first pitch that he saw in the bottom of the first inning. And the first pitch by Hunnewell. Swing and a miss, strike one. Hunnewell had a rough second inning. 4 balls for 12 strikes for 16 pitches, allowing 1 run and 1 hit, striking out a batter, but allowing a run to score. The 0-1. Ground ball, this one getting into the hole in center field. Tanner Lynn starting off with a leadoff single in the bottom of the third. Gets past the mound and gets past the pitcher Hunnewell. And now here is Hunter Zelasco, hit a 1-1 pitch right near the left field line for a double. He was unfortunately stranded at third in the bottom of the first inning. And steps off the mound, throws to first. As not in time. There's a Meadowdale player warming up in the bullpen. That is junior Connor Kaufman. And the first pitch. A strike one looking, skewed. The throw to second is not in time. And Tanner has a stolen base. Tanner now with his 8th stolen base of the year. He took a little jump after sliding, but he's able to get on the bag safely. Count starts at 0-1. Hunnewell, timeout by Hunter. That will be a no-pitch call by the home plate umpire. Count starts at no balls and 1 strike. And Hunnewell looking over at second towards Tanner, the 0-1. Runner goes to third. And Tanner now has stolen base number 9 on the year. Count is now 0-2 on Zelasco. And the 0-2 pitch. Low outside, ball 1. And Hunnewell 1-2. Line shot past the glove of the shortstop, Cole Duncan. It'll be an RBI single by Hunter Zelasco. The Vikings now trail by the score of 3-2. They only needed the first 2 batters in the bottom of the third to do it. Now here is Theron Perkins. He grounded out to the second baseman Jeremy Asher in what almost was an error by the second baseman, who was able to get the ball in time, throw to first, not in time. Asher would then have an error in the bottom of the second when Ethan Jansen was at the plate, but he would be thrown out at third base. And the first pitch, Huntwell getting the sign from Mescue, throws to first, not in time to get Hunter.
There you go, Hunter. You're swimming.
And for Zelasco, that is RBI number 3 on the year. And it's starting off the day pretty strong, going 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI. And a timeout by Theron. And another no pitch by Huntwell. Huntwell had to be getting a little frustrated out there. Fly ball, foul. On the first pitch, Huntwell has to be getting a little bit frustrated. He was told that he can't throw to first that much, and now he's throwing no pitches to 2 consecutive batters. Throw to first, not in time. Ball gets away from Hunter Zelasco. And the infield umpire saying that's not interference by the first baseman. As the ball gets past the first baseman, Finn Went again. But Finn Went, he ran into Zelasco, and it's not interference. Runner still at first. Count is still 0-1. And the 0-1 fly ball, that is out, foul. That falls on top of the dugout. Definitely going to fall. Definitely was falling around this vicinity, around this area. It falls on top of the dugout. And Theron with a chance to unload some power here. The 0-2 upstairs ball one. Eskew looking at first base and does not throw.
Here we go. Come on, Theron. Sit back and drive. Let's go 6, the back. Find a gap right here now, kid.
And Huntwell, 1-2, runner goes, fly ball. That is foul, as for a split second it looked playable, but it leaned right next to the Lake Stevens bullpen.
Let's go, Theron. Hang with bang, kid. Let's go, baby.
Count staying at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Huntwell looking at Zelasco at first base. He wind up at the 1-2. Outside ball 2. Throw to first, not in time. And a nice pick by Finn Went to first baseman. Count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Lake Stevens. This is their final non-conference game of the year, as they'll play against the Jackson Timberwolves next Wednesday, March 27th. The start conference play, where the games really matter to the players' opinion. Throw to first, not in time. While for Meadowdale, after this game, they have 3 more non-conference games. They have a game tomorrow, Friday, March 22nd at Cascade. They play on Tuesday, March 26th at home against Glacier Peak. And then one more, 2-2. Runner goes, Zelasco going to second after the ball hits the catcher's mask of Nolan Askew. And the Vikings have the game-tying run in scoring position. On a wild pitch by Huntwell. It's his first wild pitch of the afternoon. And after the Cascade game, they play Glacier Peak. And after the Glacier Peak game, they play on Friday, March 29th on the road against Marysville Pilchuck before starting conference play against Mount Lake Terrace. And a runner goes, full count, 3-2. As a ball forward, Zelasco has a stolen base, a third. Vikings with runners on the corners, first and third. That is the 5th stolen base by the Lake Stevens Vikings in 2+ innings of play. 2 by Cameron Austin, 2 by Tanner, 1 by Hunter. And they're threatening to get more. Here is Aaron Lampinen, who was walked on 4 pitches in the bottom of the first. And Hunnewell. First pitch, a strike one looking. Theron to throw to second, not in time. And Theron's got himself a stolen bag. That is the 6th stolen base by the Lake Stevens Vikings. The count starts at 0-1. And a timeout by Meadowdale, the catcher Nolan Askew talking to Hunnewell. The Vikings now with the game-tying run at third, the game-leading run at second. And the Mavs, they have still Connor Kaufman in the bullpen, may take over for Hunnewell if this goes down south for the Mavs. And the 0-1, outside ball 2, or ball 1. Count is even at 1-1. So Meadowdale playing in the Wesco 3A South Conference. They play 2 games against each opponent. And the 1-1 low ball 2. They play 2 games against Mount Lake Terrace, Shorecrest. 2 2A schools. They have Cedar Crest and then Archbishop Murphy later in the schedule. 2-1. Upstairs ball 3. They play against Mount Lake Terrace, Shorecrest, Cedar Crest, Edmonds, Woodway, Linwood, Archbishop Murphy, and then finishes the season off with Shorewood, the 3-1. Hard hit ball. This one going into left center field. Will that fall? No, it'll be a diving catch by the left fielder, Caleb Berry. A nice diving play by him in left center field. That will score Hunter from third. The game is tied. At 3 apiece, it'll be a sacrifice fly by Aaron Lampinen. The timeout by Meadowdale, and they might take Hunnewell out of the game. Kaufman still throwing the baseball in the bullpen. As Trey Long walks up to the plate, he popped out to the first baseman Finn Wendt to end the first inning.
Yes, that was perfect. And the little like rock, like trying to get into it.
As Trey Long entering the at-bat, going 1 for 13 with a double, a 2-run double. Back in the game against Mount Lake Terrace, it gave the Vikings insurance in that game. Now let's see if the Vikings and Trey Long can get some insurance here. Game leading run is at second base in Theron Perkins. Hunnewell looks over at second a couple of times. First pitch, ground ball. This gets past the glove of the third baseman. Theron will be rounding around third. The ball bobbled by the left fielder, and it'll be an RBI double by Trey Long. The Vikings retake the lead 4-3. The ball got past the glove of the third baseman, Brady Johnson, and it was because of that that Theron was able to score from second. Here's Ethan Jansen. First pitch, a slow roller past the third base line. Count starts at 0-1. Trey Long, his second hit of the season, which is also a double, and he gets another RBI. That's his third RBI of the year. And it gives the Vikings a 4-3 lead. And the 0-1 by Hunnewell, strike 2, check swing.
Here we go. Worked it, missed it, retreated, doesn't hang out.
Let's go, Panda!
Count at 0-2. Hunnewell, Trey, running, throw to third, it will be in time. No, but the balk on Hunnewell, Trey gets third. And now Bill Hummel, the manager, will go talk to the umpire. Trey had a huge jump on the pitcher, Hunnewell, but Hunnewell was able to release the ball in time, gets it to the third baseman, Brady Johnson. But just before Johnson could tag long at third base, the infield umpire calls it a balk. And the Vikings now have insurance at third. A lucky break for Lake Stevens, especially if they can get this guy past the plate for a run. The 0-2, low, ball one. Hunnewell getting the sign from Nolan Eskew, the catcher. Trey Long at third, 1 ball and 2 strikes. A pitch. Upstairs, count is even. Count is even at 2-2. Hunnewell swung on and fly ball. This one will go past the Meadowdale bleachers, behind the dugout, and the count will stay even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Meadowdale, in addition to barely missing the state tournament, they also lost a number of players as well. The 2-2. Hard hit ball. This one is foul past the left field line. Count still 2 balls and 2 strikes. They lost a number of players as well, including one of the best pitcher-catcher duos in Wesco, which is Tommy Dimmick on the mound and Travis Hagan behind the plate. As they were both first-team players on the Wesco 3A South. 2-2 outside, full count, 3-2. As it was Tommy Dimmick and Travis Hagan. They were both Wesco 3A South first-team players. Dimmick, a first-team pitcher and infielder. And Travis Hagan, a first-team catcher. Will Schaefer was a first-team infielder, and Parker Cumberland, as a freshman, was a second-team outfielder. The payoff pitch, fly ball. This one going into left field. Back goes the left fielder. Can he go? And he will make the catch right next to the wall. That was a good 5 feet away from a home run. As Trey will score, Lake Stevens now leads by the score of 5-3. It was caught by the left fielder Caleb Berry, another pretty good catch by him. And now bring up Cameron Austin. He got a base hit in the second and was the lone run that scored. This one a fly ball going to the right field. And it'll make the catch to the right fielder Parker Cumberland to end the bottom of the third inning. 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Lake Stevens, a huge inning. It gives them the lead again. As Colton Hogel walks back up to the mound in the top of the 4th inning. Hogel will face off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. The bottom of the order, Finn Wentz, Nolan Askew, and Jeremy Asher, as Meadowdale tries to take the lead back from the Vikings. 5-3 Lake Stevens at the end of 3. And we are now back to the top of the 4th inning. Lake Stevens, they retake the lead over the Meadowdale Mavericks. They were trailing 3-1. They now lead 5-3 as Colton Hogel is back on the mound in the top of the 4th against the first baseman Finn Wendt on a 1-0 pitch. He grounded out to the second baseman Aaron Lampinen. And the first pitch by Colton. First pitch outside, ball 1. Colton will face off against the bottom 3 hitters of the order, Finn Wendt, Nolan Askew, and Jeremy Asher. And the 1-0 fly ball, count is even. And that one landed right near the parking lot, count is even. As Lake Stevens still under construction. It's basically the same thing as last week. You have the Rock Road. I don't want to say Rocky Road because that's a little too like punny. But that's what it is. The 1-1 outside, ball 2. Nice pitch by Colton. And there is some progress made. There's a building that's being made where the parking lot to the athletic office was, or where a part of it was. And they're now making the walls to it. 2-1. Line shot. This one getting in to left field over the glove of the third baseman, Theron Perkins. And Meadowdale starts off with a leadoff single in the top of the fourth. Here is Nolan Askew, the starting catcher. He scored one of the 3 runs in the top of the third. He was walked on a full count. And my mistake, he was replaced by Dalton Long, who scored one of the 3 runs in the top of the third, scored the first one. And Colton looking at Went at first. First pitch, low, ball 1. And Colton in his 4th appearance of the year. This is the first time that he entered the game this early. He entered the Edmonds-Woodway game in the bottom of the 5th. He entered the Mount Lake Terrace game in the top of the 5th. And he entered the Snohomish game pretty late in the game too. 1-0 low for a ball 2. And he also entered the game for an inning in the 5th inning. So he enters mainly in the 5th inning. Yet he came in as the 3rd pitcher in the top of the 3rd. 2-0. The pitch, low, ball 3. Tommy, throw to first base is not in time. And Colton looking at Finn Went at first, 3-0. Strike 1 looking. Count is 3-1. And Colton, he threw 1 ball and 7 strikes for 8 pitches against 2 batters in the top of the 3rd. Throw to first. Not in time, barely, as indicated by the umpire yelling that he is safe. Count is still 3 balls and 1 strike. Hogel, the 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Count is full. So now Xander Fogel and Dominic Gray are both going to get no decisions in this game. And Colton Hogel now online for the win if the Vikings can hold on. And the payoff pitch, low, ball 4. And Meadowdale has their first 2 batters on base. Finn Went at second, Nolan Askew at first. Jeremy Asher is now up to the plate again. Once again, Dalton Long pinch running for Nolan Askew. Asher, he struck out on a full count for the only recorded out by Xander Fogel in the top of the 3rd inning. And Colton Hogel, the sign from Tommy Lindgren. Looks over at second. Throw to second. Is it in time? No, it is not. Hunter Velasco almost tags. Finn Went in time at second base. And Colton. The pitch. Strike 1 looking to start off the at-bat. And Colton getting a sign. Looking at Went at second. No balls, 1 strike to pitch. Tries bunting for it. It is a 1-hopper to Tommy, a ball 1. And while there are baseball games going on around the West Coast Conference and around the state, at the same time, everyone's mindset, especially when it comes to during school hours and outside of baseball, is especially towards March Madness. The throw to second is not in time as the Vikings tried a diversion. Theron running towards home. Trey also running towards home, and Hunter Zalasko running towards third. As there's an update, just a random update from March Madness. Fairleigh Dickinson playing against Gonzaga. Gonzaga going in the halftime, they lead 50-17. They're trying a diversion again, and it is a ball 2. Yeah. I mean, it was obvious Gonzaga was going to win, at least this game. They're 30-3. But it's just, by that much, is surprising.
I think I have them winning 3 games.
It's a good bet. Yeah, it's a really good bet. 2 balls and 1 strike. Colton getting the sign from Tommy. There's also a game that's currently at halftime. Abilene Christian trailing Kentucky 39-13, 2-1. And a foul chopper hits the backstop or rolls right next to it. Count is even at 2-2. And that's also another game that guaranteed, you got to say the majority of people picked. And that is Kentucky winning the first game over Abilene Christian. They lead 39-13 at halftime. Currently in the first quarter between St. Mary's and Villanova. Villanova leading that game by 2, 25-23. And Nevada trailing by 15 over Florida. Count is now ball 3, a full count 3-2. Now, I don't know about you, but I picked Florida to win that first game. The count is full. Dalton Long, first base. Finn Wen at second. Another full count against Jeremy Asher, payoff. A foul ball hits the fence. Think about trying something new here. I was trying other sports. It was that and whatever happened this morning in Japan. I think I'm really excited to talk about that later in the game. Count is still full. Finn went at second. Payoff. Outside, ball 4. It's bases loaded. A leadoff single and 2 walks by Colton Hoagland, the first 3 hitters. And we now go to the top of the order in Parker Cumberland for the 3rd time around. Flew out to left and hit a batter. He flew out to left and was hit in the 3rd inning. Timeout by the Vikings, Tommy Lindgren and Trey Long walking up to the mound to talk to Colton. Okay, so now it's officially halftime. Gonzaga leading 53-17. Safe to say, I think Gonzaga's already won that game. And Cumberland, he was a second team all Wesco 3A South outfielder last year as a freshman. And he has a chance to make this a ball game again here. First pitch outside, ball 1. And Colton the windup in 1-0. Line, hard hit ball. This one going in the right field. Fall right in front of Devin. 1 run is going to score. All the runners will advance. And it'll be an RBI single by Cumberland. And Lake Stevens now leads this game by the score of 5-4. Here is Cole Duncan. Hit a single in the 3rd, grounded out to the 3rd baseman Theron Perkins. Back in the top of the 1st. And Colton the first pitch. Strike 1 looking. And while there are games going on right now for March Madness, there were some games that, especially people I know, during school hours especially, have paid attention to. First one was Bradley playing Michigan State. Spartans winning that one 76-65. There were people who wanted Bradley to win. And the 0-1. Ball 1. Count is even. Florida State they ran away from the Vermont Catamounts 76-69. Vermont had 16 three-pointers. That is the third most in the NCAA tournament for a losing team. The most being 18 by Loyola Marymount in 91. The 1-1 fly ball, that one is foul. Count is 1-2. Another game, 3-seeded LSU beat Yale 79-74. And by 1 point, Auburn just gets past New Mexico State. They got a three-pointer in. They trailed by 1, but they weren't able to beat the Tigers. And the 1-2, and that will hit Cole Duncan. And the game is now tied again with no outs. Here in the top of the fourth, game is now tied once again at 5-5. Now bring in Mason Vaughn. He's been walked twice in his last 2 plate appearances. 4 pitches in the top of the first and 5 pitches in the top of the third. That was against Xander Fogel and Dominic Gray. This is the first time around for him against Colton Hogel. And the first pitch by Colton. Ball 1 upstairs. And one game that we're definitely paying attention to, and it was fairly obvious when the game started, that was Kansas beating Northeastern. Trying to count that. 60, 70, yeah, 34, 87-53. Moving on to the next round, the 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And the first game of the NCAA tournament, and I can confidently say broke a lot of people's brackets. That was Minnesota beating Louisville by 10. As Minnesota will play Michigan State later this week. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colton the 1-1. Low, ball 2. Nice pick by Tommy. And the next one is one of those 12-5 games that was easily divided on both sides. Either one had a shot of winning, but it was Murray State beating Marquette 83-64. As Murray State had one of their top basketball players, John Morant, will possibly be picked in one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft. 2-1. Strike 2 looking, count is even. If I remember correctly, it was that he had 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists. It was the first triple-double by a player in the NCAA tournament since 2012. Very impressive. Murray State going to play against Florida State. And then count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind up for 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Colton gets Mason Vaughn swinging for the first out and the 6th batter in the top of the 4th. Now here is Luke Hunnewell. Is struck out looking in the first. Walked with the bases loaded in the 3rd off of Dominic Gray. And the final game, and along with LSU and Yale, where I got the pick wrong, it was Belmont and Maryland. Maryland winning that game 79-77. It was 17 points, 16 assists, and 11 rebounds. Close enough. First pitch, ball 1, 1-0. They still got a triple-double. It's still impressive, and can't wait to see this guy more in the future. Count is at 1-0. Bases are loaded with 1 out. And a ball 1. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Second half now underway between Abilene Christian and Kentucky. That game looking like the Gonzaga game. Kentucky up 41-18. It's going to take a miracle for Abilene Christian to win this one at this point. The 1-1 fly ball, that is foul. Hits the concrete, bounces up in the air. Count now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Villanova and St. Mary's tied at 28 going into halftime. That one, if I remember, I picked Villanova to win that game. 2 balls and 1 strike, wind up by Colton. Ball 2. Or ball 3, my mistake, 3-1 count. Jeremy Asher at third, Parker Cumberland at second, and Cole Duncan at first base. And Colton the 3-1. And a strike two looking. Count is full against Luke Hunnewell. Count is full. Wind up by Colton. Ball four. Meadowdale has the lead 6-5. Timeout by Lake Stevens. Josh White bringing in a fourth pitcher. That is number 8, Caden Pattison. Currently now with 1 out and the bases loaded. Meadowdale now with a 6-5 lead over Lake Stevens. In the top of the 4th inning is Caden Pattison making his first appearance on the mound this season for Lake Stevens. And we are now back in the top of the 4th inning. Lake Stevens bringing in their 4th pitcher on the mound. This will be number 8, Caden Pattison, making his first appearance. First pitch is low, a ball 1 to Caleb Berry. Currently, Colton Hogel inning in a third, 42 pitches, 2 hits, currently 3 earned runs, although that may change. Walking 2 batters, striking out 1, and hitting a batter. And a foul ball. Count is even at 1-1. And Caden, count is even, 1-1. Low in the dirt to Tommy. By mistake, he walked 3 batters. Two one. Upstairs, ball 3. As Connor Kaufman still warming up in the bullpen for the Mavs. Warming up alongside Dalton Long. 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Meadowdale has another run. Now bring up Brady Johnson, 0 for 2 with a couple of pop-outs. And the 9th batter of the 4th inning. Meadowdale, they had 8 batters in the 3rd, and they now have 9 in the 4th. First pitch, a foul ball, 0-1. Cade in the 0-1. Line shot, this one getting past Alaska. 1 run's going to score. And that's all is going to happen in this at-bat. And the RBI single by Brady Johnson. Score is now 8-5. Meadowdale over Lake Stevens. Now go back to Finn Wendt, hit a single earlier in this inning and was the first run that scored. First pitch, ball 1 upstairs. Timeout by Lake Stevens again. Josh White walking up to the mound. Josh White has been having to talk to his pitchers and really pay attention to pitching, especially in the last few games. Now because we are finishing up the stretch. We're now going into conference play, and now there will be another pitcher. And that will bring back number 20, Tanner Lind, who is also making his first appearance with the Lake Stevens Vikings. Caden going to left field to take over for Tanner. We'll take a quick break once again. Top of the fourth, Meadowdale leads Lake Stevens by 3 runs. Bases loaded with 1 out. And we are now back into the top of the 4th inning. Lake Stevens bringing in their 5th pitcher and 3rd pitcher in this inning, and number 20, Tanner Lind. Meadowdale leads 8-5. Bases loaded with 1 out. First pitch to Finn Wendt. Is a ball 1. The 1-0. Fly ball that is playable. Going into foul territory. Trey running for it is not able to make the catch. And the count is even at 1-1.
Hey, throw strikes, that away.
And Tanner.
Tack.
And the 1-1, ball 2 outside.
One leg.
Two balls and 1 strike. The windup. Fly ball. That one going into center field. Cameron Austin running towards it. Running, making the catch. Is a run going to score? Throw home is not in time, as it'll be a sacrifice fly by Finn Wendt. The score now is 9-5. So it'll be 6 runs towards Colton, no runs towards Caden, as both runners that he has allowed. There's no runners that he has allowed on base have scored. First pitch to Nolan Askew, a strike 1 looking. For the 11th batter in the top of the 4th. The 0-1 upstairs. Count is even. So Colton Hochul now finishing inning in a third, 42 pitches, 2 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout, and has hit a batter. 1-1. Fly ball, foul. Count is 1-2. So Caden only throwing 6 pitches, allowing a hit and a walk for bringing in Tanner. Ahead of the count, 1-2. Inside, ball 2. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tanner looking like he's getting the upper hand against Askew. And the 2-2. Slow ground ball. This one going to Zelasco. Tosses it to first. It is in time to end the top of the 4th inning. 11 batters, 6 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. No errors and 2 runners left on the score. Now Meadowdale 9, Lake Stevens 5 as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Tommy Lindgren, Devin McWaters, and Tanner Lind. As it'll be a new pitcher for Meadowdale in number 19, Connor Kaufman. As Meadowdale now has a 4-run lead as we go in to the bottom of the 4th. And we are now back into the bottom of the 4th inning. Meadowdale, they were trailing 5-3. They now lead 9-5. As Lake Stevens looks to respond, the Mavericks bringing in a new pitcher in number 19, Connor Kaufman. First pitch to Tommy Lindgren is a ball 1. Hunnewell will then move to third. The 1-0. Low ball 2. His first three batters will be Lindgren, Devin McWaters, and then back to the top of the order for the third time around in Tanner Lind. And the 2-0, ball 3. And the 3-0 pitch, upstairs, ball 4. And Lake Stevens will start off the bottom of the fourth with a leadoff walk by Tommy Lindgren. So now it is halftime between St. Mary's and Villanova. St. Mary's 30, Villanova 28. As that is now at halftime. It'll be Devin McWaters struck out looking on a full count to end the bottom of the second inning against Luke Hunnewell. Hunnewell now online for the win. And the first pitch. Tries to bunt for it. Ball gets away from Nolan Askew. Tommy's going to go to second base. And Kaufman looking at second towards Tommy. And the windup. Tries bunting for it. This one going towards the third base line. Devin with another nice bunt. Throw to first is not in time. It's another perfect bunt by Devin McWaters. Tommy staying at second. And the Vikings now have runners on first and second for Tanner Lind. 1 for 2 with a single, 2 stolen bases, and a run. First pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. And now Josh White looking to take out Tommy for a courtesy runner. 1-0. That is a strike 1 as the catcher Nolan Askew drops the baseball, the first called strike of the inning, and the third batter. And it'll be a courtesy runner for Tommy Lindgren. He'll be replaced with number 2, Alex Keeley, making his first appearance with the varsity baseball team, as he played for the most of this year and all of last year with the junior varsity team. And Alex Keeley getting some attention at second base. Count is even at 1-1. Kaufman steps off the rubber and he looks towards second, towards Alex Keeley. And Kaufman looking at Keeley. Count is even at 1-1. Strike 2 looking. And Kaufman stepping off the rubber again and does not throw. So Hunnewell finishes with 3 innings, throwing 66 pitches, allowing 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, walking 2 batters, striking out 1, and throwing 2 wild pitches in the process. He is currently online for the window, although he allowed 5 runs. This one, a 1-2 pitch. This one going in the left field. Back goes the left fielder. That's going to fall fair. Alex Keeley will be riding around third. And Alex Keeley, the throw to the plate, not in time. Keeley's going to score. And Lake Stevens now trails 9-6. An RBI bloop single by Tanner Lind. The Vikings now trail by 3. Devin going to second, as that ball just got away from the left fielder Caleb Berry. And now here is Hunter Zalasko, 2 for 2 with a double, an RBI, a stolen base, and a run. And he has a chance to get some more ribbies under his belt here if he can get a hit. Hunter represents the game-tying run at home plate. And Kaufman upstairs outside ball 1. That ball getting away from Askew. McWater's going back to second. 8:37 second quarter. Florida leads by 10, 56-46. 1-0 as a ball two outside. We'll be giving up updates to the numerous March Madness games coming out that are playing right now. And Kaufman, 2 balls and no strikes. The throw to second not in time to get McWaters. Kaufman still behind on the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Fly ball, that's a foul. That hit the rock road and it took like 2 bounces into the trees. I've never seen that before. All right. Well, there's a first for everything. 2 balls, 1 strike.
We like that, yes we do.
And Kaufman. And a 1-hopper to the catcher askew, now a 3-1 count.
Go, kid. Your pitch, kid. Yours. You got it. Let's go now, kid. Let's go. Come, babe.
There's also a number of March Madness games that are also going to be playing later today. First one, Baylor and Syracuse. The Orange playing without their star Frank Howard, the 3-1. Outside, ball 4 is Alasko. Will be going to first base as the bases will be loaded. Game tying run at first base, and the game leading run at home plate in Theron Perkins. There'll be Baylor and Syracuse. Other games as well, Montana against Michigan, a 15-2 game, and a 10-7 game in Wofford and Seton Hall. First pitch, a ball. This one gets away from Askew. Runners will stay. Theron, he's grounded out to the second baseman, Jeremy Asher, in the bottom of the first inning, and then was walked on a full count, got a stolen base, and scored one of the 4 runs in the bottom of the third. The stretch in the 1-0. Low, ball 2. This one getting away from Askew again. And the final March Madness game that hasn't started yet, that is Old Dominion against Purdue, a 14-3 game.
Go, Theron. Your pitch now.
And the 2-0 hard hit shot going into right center field. Back it goes. Back. That's off of the wall. 3 runs are going to score. McWaters, Lyndon, Alasko. And Theron Perkins has just tied this game with a bases clearing double in the right center field. That was a good 5 feet away from being a grand slam. It's a well-hit ball. Opposite field. And Lake Stevens has tied this game at 9. And here is Aaron Lampinen. First pitch. Outside, ball 1. And Kaufman looking at Theron at second base. And the 1-0. Make that 2-0 outside. Aaron Lampinen walked in the first inning, hit a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the third, which gave him his 5th RBI of the year. 2-0. Upstairs, ball 3. And speaking of RBIs, Theron Perkins, he got RBIs 7, 8, and 9, which leads the team on the double. Almost a home run right there as it hits the wall. Kaufman steps off the rubber for a split second. And the 3-0. Low, ball 4. Lake Stevens has runners on first and second. Now here is Trey Long. 2 for 14, entering this at bat with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. And he's looking to get a couple more RBIs here. Kaufman Looking at Theron at second, first pitch. Check swing, strike one. A weird pitch by Kaufman to start off the at-bat. Kaufman once again looking at Theron at second. Theron shuffling, the 0-1. Outside, ball one. Count is even. And the count is even, 1-1. Trey, strike two looking. Lake Stevens on their 7th batter, and Meadowdale has not been able to record an out. Count is 1-2. Kaufman. Fly ball, it's a foul. For Lake Stevens in the top of the 5th, top of the 4th, it took the 6th batter to get the first out. And here for the Vikings at the plate, they're at their 7th batter. Kaufman, the 1-2. Low, count is even. Aaron at first, Theron at second. Florida leading Nevada 58-48. That is the game that apparently everyone matters at this point because Gonzaga is blowing out Fairleigh Dickinson. Kentucky is blowing out Abilene Christian. That was a slow chopper down the third base line. Picked up by Kaufman. Throw to first. No throw to first. It'll be an infield single by Trey Long, and the bases are loaded again. Now we have Ethan Jansen. Got on base on an error by the second baseman Jeremy Asher, and then was thrown out at third on the next at bat, and then hit a sacrifice fly in the third. First pitch, ball one. And the 1-0. Inside, ball two. Lake Stevens with a chance to reach double digits again for the 3rd time this year and to take the lead. And the 2-0. Outside, ball three. Trey Long at first, Aaron Lampinen at second, Theron Perkins at third, the 3-0. Strike one right down the middle. And the 3-1. And a foul ball. This one hitting the fence right next to the backstop. Count is full. The Vikings now in their 8th batter. And is still no outs in the bottom of the 4th. Payoff. Swing and a miss, strike three. Kaufman strikes out Ethan Jansen. And that'll be the first out of the bottom of the 4th. Here is Cameron Austin, 1 for 2 with a single, 2 stolen bases and a run. And Kaufman. Strike one looking. And Kaufman 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Come on, Cam, let's go! Come on, Cam!
Kaufman getting the sign from Askew, 0-2. Fly ball, that is foul. That gets past the bullpen.
Come on now, Cam! Here it comes, kids. Sit back on it.
And the 0-2. Upstairs, ball one. 6:01 second half. Florida leads by 7. A line shot going in the right field. Theron's going to score. And now Aaron Lampinen being waved to second. Throw to home is not in time. Trey's going to third. And Cameron's going to go to second on the errant throw home. 2 runs are going to score. It's a 2-run single and error by Cameron Austin. The score now Lake Stevens 11, Meadowdale 9. The right fielder Parker Cumberland bobbled the baseball. So Theron would score. Aaron would also score. Trey would go to third on the error. And Lake Stevens, they were trailing. If I got this right. Yeah, 9-5. They've scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th. We'll take a quick break here. Bottom of the 4th inning with 1 out and runners on second and third. Lake Stevens leads 11-9 as the Mavericks bring in a new pitcher in number 13, Parker Cumberland. And we are now back in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the first pitch from the new pitcher for the Meadowdale Mavericks, Parker Cumberland. A ball 1 to Tommy Lindgren. He started off the inning with a 4-pitch walk and was taken over by Alex Keeley at second base. And the 1-0. Fly ball that is playable going into short left center. It is caught by the center fielder Mason Vaughn as he waved away Cole Duncan, the shortstop, diving for it. And that'll be the second out in the bottom of the 4th. Now here's Devin McWaters. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Connor Kaufman, a third of an inning, allowing 5 hits, walking 3 batters, striking out 1, allowing 6 earned runs, although that may change. And the 0-1 tries bunting for it. That is a foul. Count now 0-2. 4:17 second half. Florida leads 58-55 over Nevada. The windup in the 0-2 by Parker. And this will go inside, ball 1. And Parker stepping off the mound for a quick second. Now back on. Trey at third, Cameron Austin at second. And the 1-2 windup. Upstairs, ball 2, count is even. And the 2-2 by Cumberland. Foul ball hits the fence. Count still 2-2. Through a total of 38 pitches in a third of an inning. 21 balls, 17 strikes for Connor Kaufman. And the 2-2 inside, full count. Devin looking to keep the inning alive for Lake Stevens. Trying to get some more runs on the board. The payoff pitch by Cumberland. Outside, ball 4, bases are loaded again. Now we'll bring up to the top of the order for the 4th time around is Tanner Lind. Got a base hit, an RBI single earlier in the inning. And has a chance to get a couple more RBIs here. And Cumberland, strike 1 looking. Florida leads Nevada 60-57 with 3:44 left. That's the game that I'm more excited about because the rest of them are blowouts or are not playing right now. The 0-1. Upstairs, ball 1. Villanova and St. Mary's back in the play. Villanova leads by 7 after leading by 2 at the half. Cumberland getting the sign from the catcher, Nolan Askew. And Tanner Lind now the new pitcher for the Vikings, 1-1. Strike 2 looking. Count now 1-2. And the 1-2 foul ball hits the backstop. Staying alive. Parker Cumberland looking to finish off the inning. After this is the 12th batter of the inning. The 1-2, a foul ball, staying alive. As the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cumberland, the windup, 1-2. Outside, count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Parker, the payoff pitch. Outside. No, is it a ball? No, apparently that was a ball, and the runners were advancing. They didn't know what the count was, and Trey scores. What just happened? No, it was a 2-2 count. They thought it was a full count. And a run will score. It's 12-9. Payoff. Ground ball straight to Cumberland, who fumbles the ball, tosses it to first. It's the end of the inning. But wow. The runners advanced. Trey thought that was a ball 4 and was already halfway. So technically you could say that's a stolen base. That's a stolen base. Trey stole home. Cameron stole third. Devin stole second. Those are stolen bases right there. And the 4th inning will end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. No errors. 2 runners left on. Lake Stevens now leads in the top of the 5th by the score of 12-9. Going to the top of the 5th, Tanner Lind facing off against the 9-1 and 2 hitters for the first time around. It'll be Jeremy Asher, Parker Cumberland, and Cole Duncan as Meadowdale tries to respond to Lake Stevens' 7-run bottom of the 4th, 12-9. Lake Stevens over Meadowdale. And we are now back into the top of the 5th inning. The first pitch from Tanner Lind to the pinch hitter at the 9th spot, number 38, Dalton Long, a foul ball. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Meadowdale trying to respond. They had a 6-run top of the 4th. Lake Stevens respond with a 7-run bottom of the 4th. They lead 12-9. And the 0-1 pitch, a ball 1. Tanner Lind now online for the win here. He'll face off against the 9-1 and 2 hitters. Jeremy Asher, Parker Cumberland, Cole Duncan, 1-1 outside. Count now 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, fly ball, count is even, foul. And for the first batter, Tanner Lind, getting the sign from Tommy Lindgren against Dalton Long, who was pinch hitting for Jeremy Asher. The 2-2, inside, full count. Meadowdale, they've scored 3 runs in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and the payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Tanner Lind, his first strikeout of his varsity career, a swing and a miss, strike 3 on a full count to Dalton Long, the 9-hitter. As we now go back to the top of the order for the 4th time around, Parker Cumberland is back at the plate, 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th. First pitch of ball one. 3 minutes left. Florida 61, Nevada 59. Nevada got 2 points. Ground ball, this one getting into the glove of the second baseman, Lampinen. Throw to first is in time. What a play by Aaron Lampinen, diving to his left for the second out. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Cole Duncan, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs scored in the third inning and in the fourth inning. In the fourth, he got hit on a 1-2 count. First pitch. Ball one upstairs.
20. Great pitch, good.
The 1-0. Fly ball, that is playable in foul territory. Theron is under it, right next to the Meadowdale dugout, makes the catch at the wall, right next to the Meadowdale bullpen. And that will end the top of the fifth. And that will end the top of the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on in the first 1-2-3 inning of this game. Meadowdale bringing in a new pitcher in number 11, Caleb Berry, in the bottom of the fifth. 2 amazing plays by the Lake Stevens defense, starting with a diving play by Aaron Lampinen, and then finishing off with a foul pop-out by Theron Perkins as he dove right next to the wall. Score is still 12-9. Lake Stevens over Meadowdale as the Vikings look to try to add some more runs against this new pitcher, number 11, Caleb Berry, who originally started at left field. And we are now back into the bottom of the fifth inning. Lake Stevens and Tanner Lynn doing a really good job on the mound of keeping Meadowdale at bay. Now we're in the bottom of the fifth with the Vikings looking to get some more runs on the board. Hunter Zalasko starting with getting hit on the elbow. The first pitch from the new Meadowdale pitcher, number 11, Caleb Berry, who entered this game as the left fielder. He made a couple great plays, but now he is going to be on the mound. And it'll be Dalton Long who will be playing in his place. First pitch to Theron. Outside, ball one. Theron had a very, very well hit ball that was hit into right center field. It hit the wall. It was a bases clearing double that scored McWaters, Tanner, and Hunter, and was the highlight of the 7-run fourth inning. And it tied the game at 9. 1-0 by Berry. Runner goes. Zalasko. Hard hit ball going into center field. Back goes the center fielder. He has looking up, and it's at the wall again. Theron's at second. Zalasko's routing around third. And Theron Perkins has another double, this time to dead center field. And Lake Stevens now leads 13-9. Theron now at double digits in RBIs this year. That went over the head of the center fielder, Mason Vaughn. And that'll bring up Aaron Lampinen, 0 for nothing, as he was walked twice and hit a sacrifice fly to the left fielder, then Caleb Berry for a sacrifice fly that will score a run, part of that 4-run third inning. Berry looking at Theron at second. First pitch, fly ball, that is playable, the staying in the infield. And it'll be the shortstop, Cole Turner, or my mistake, Cole Duncan calling for it for the first out. For the first down the bottom of the fifth. Here is Trey Long, 2 for 3, 2 runs, an RBI, and a stolen base in this game. An RBI double in the third and a single in the fourth, and he later scored off of that stolen base as he stole home in probably one of the rarest things you'll ever see in baseball. First pitch by Berry. Ball one inside. Count starts at 1-0. And Caleb in a timeout. Now to balk by Berry, and Theron's going to third. Another balk by Meadowdale pitching. This time it will move Theron from second to third. This is the second balk by Meadowdale pitching. There was another one back in the bottom of the third that moved Trey from second to third. And a 1-0 foul ball. This is the, for Lake Stevens hitting, this is the fourth balk of the year, fifth balk. This is the fourth or fifth balk that opposing pitchers have had against Lake Stevens. The 1-1. Fly ball at the foul. Count now at 1-2. And this is new. Like, I've never seen this happen before in the first few games of the season, where the opposing pitchers in the first, this is now the sixth game of the year, they've had like 4 or 5 balks already this year. 1-2, and a foul grounder puts Trey onto one knee, and the count stays at 1-2. Florida now running away with this one. They'll probably win this game. 34 seconds. They lead by 6 over Nevada. And the 1-2, Barry. Hard hit ball. This one going into short center field. This will score Theron. Trey's out going to second, and the cutoff throw is bobbled by the shortstop, Cole Duncan. And it's another RBI double by Trey Long. The score now 14-9. The second double of the afternoon for Trey, and the second RBI of the afternoon for Trey as well. Here is Ethan Jansen. 0 for 1, got on base on an error, hit a sacrifice fly to left, and struck out swinging in the fourth.
Go now, kid.
And Barry looking at Trey, and a timeout by Jansen as Trey was shuffling the third.
There we go, high now.
Come on now, Panda. It's not right here, that kid.
And Barry the first pitch. A ball one inside. Ethan, in the first at-bat, it was the first pitch he saw that he hit to the second baseman, Jeremy Asher. And the next two at-bats, he was able to get to a full count before ending with the result of a sacrifice fly to left in the third and struck out in the fourth for the first out, the 1-0. Fly ball, this one going into short center field. Cole Duncan is calling for it, and it will be caught by the shortstop for the second out of the bottom of the fifth. And then here is Cameron Austin. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a run and 2 RBIs for Cameron. Just a snippet of an already eventful time at the plate for Lake Stevens. It's really hard not to say the same thing for Meadowdale, although it didn't look that way in the top of the fifth. Trey's running, first pitch inside, ball one. Trey, no throw to third. Trey Long has a stolen base. Second stolen base of the afternoon. And is the 10th stolen base by Lake Stevens this afternoon. The 1-0. Fly ball foul. It's on top of the Lake Stevens dugout. Count is now even at 1-1. 3:48 in the second half. Gonzaga leads by 40 over Fairleigh Dickinson. Final score for one of these March Madness games. Florida beats Nevada 70-61, the 1-1. Fly ball, that's another foul. Count now 1-2 with 2 outs. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. No, it's a foul. Cameron was ready to gun it to first as the catcher Nolan Eskew was not able to find the baseball. But he'll get a piece of the bat. Count now 1-2. And the windup and the 1-2 by Barry is low, even at 2-2. So Parker Cumberland finishing with 2/3 of an inning, throwing 17 pitches, allowing only a walk. No hits, no strikeouts, no runs. 2-2 outside, full count.
Let's go now, Cam, protect.
It's another full count for Caleb Berry. The windup and the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Caleb Berry able to get out of the bottom of the 5th. It is 2 runs off of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on. Lake Stevens, they get 2 more runs on the board. They now lead by the score of 14-9 as we go into the top of the 6th. Tanner is on the mound as they'll face off against Mason Vaughn. Luke Hennewell, assuming that he is still at the cleanup spot, and Caleb Berry, the left fielder. The score now, Lake Stevens 14, Meadowdale 9. We go into the top of the 6th inning. And we are now back at the top of the 6th inning. Tanner Lind back on the mound against Vaughn. First pitch, a strike 1 looking to Mason Vaughn, who is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a strikeout. Vaughn entered this game 1 for 7 with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. First pitch. And a fly ball, now no balls and 2 strikes. We have an update from 2 games that are going on right now, both in the second half. 3:25 left. Gonzaga leading Fairleigh Dickinson 83-43, and Villanova leading St. Mary's 47-42 with 7:47 left. The 0-2. Outside, ball 1. And the 1-2 by Tanner. Ground ball, slow grounder going to Lampinen. Throw to first is in time for the first out. And now we'll bring up Luke Hennewell. And he is still in the cleanup spot. He is 0 for 1 entering this game as well with 2 walks and a strikeout. The only difference is that Hennewell got a run in on the most recent at-bat when he got walked in the 4th. First pitch, low, ball 1. 1-0. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Count as even. Tanner entering this game with 19 pitches. Entering this inning with 19 pitches. The 1-1. Hard hit ball going in the left field. It'll be Caden Pattison under it and making the catch for the second out. Or Devin McWaters. Where's Caden then? Oh, Caden's at right. And the first pitch to Caleb Berry, the most recent pitcher, ball 1. Tanner Lind entering the inning with 19 pitches, 1-0, strike 1. Tanner getting some support from Cameron Austin. You can hear him yelling from over here, 1-1. A 1 hopper for ball 2. So Caden Pattison finishing with no recorded outs, 6 pitches, 1 hit, no runs, and 1 walk. The 2-1. And a foul ball over the Meadowdale bleachers. Count is even at 2-2. And Tanner with a chance to throw another 1-2-3 inning here. And the windup, 2-2. Strike 3 called. That ends the top of the 6th. The second strikeout of the afternoon for Tanner Lind. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It is still 14-9 Lake Stevens over Meadowdale. In the bottom of the 6th, the Vikings have one more chance to see if they can get some more runs on the board before they'll have to rely on Tanner in the top of the 7th to move their record up to 5-1. Caleb Berry on the mound in the bottom of the 6th. He'll face off against the 8-9-1 hitters, Tommy Lindgren, Devin McWaters, and Tanner Lind, the 8-9-1 hitters. Lake Stevens lead by 5 as we go into the bottom of the 6th. Now it's revealed that Alex Keeley will be making his first appearance at the plate. Pinch hitting for Tommy Lindgren, and that Bailey Corley will be pinch hitting for Devin McWaters. So it'll be Keeley, Corley, and Lind, 8-9-1 hitters. Bottom of the 6th, 14-9 Vikings. And we are now back in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lake Stevens leading Meadowdale 14-9. Caleb Berry back on the mound for the Mavs. And it'll be a pinch hitter in number 2, Alex Keeley, making his first appearance at the plate. First pitch, strike one looking. And the 0-1 upstairs. Count is even at 1-1. And the 1-1, a hard hit ball. This one going into left field. That's a fair ball. No, that barely gets fouled. Count is 1-2.
Alex got this.
Alex Keeley. He was just a couple feet away from his first varsity hit right there. Count now 1-2. Caleb Berry entering this inning going 18 pitches, 6 balls and 12 strikes. And the 1-2 inside. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Caleb Berry, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the first hitter. He'll face off against the 8-9-1 hitters. Here's Alex Keeley hitting for Tommy Lindgren, 2-2. Slow chopper, that is foul. Just gets past the third base line. And Bailey Corley currently on deck. He is hitting for the number 9 hitter, Devin McWaters, as Corley is one of 2 players for the Vikings, the other being Tate Brust, that got injured either at the start of or before the season. Corley got injured during inter-squad about a few days before the season started. 2-2, ball 3, full count in the first hitter. It screwed up his arm and he wasn't able to pitch. But it was announced that come conference play that he'll be back to his usual self. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Caleb Berry strikes out Keeley for the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Here is Bailey Corley entering this game with only 1 official plate appearance. He got hit in that plate appearance. And Tanner Lynn taking his sweet time going on to the on-deck circle. He's now back on there. The first pitch, strike 1 looking. And the 0-1. Fly ball, foul. Count now, no balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2, fly ball going into left field. Back goes the left fielder, looking up, going back, see you later! The pinch hitter, Bailey Corley, a solo slam to left field! Are you kidding me, Bailey Corley? Lake Stevens leads 15-9. And the first pitch from Tanner Lynn, the leadoff hitter. Strike 1 looking. No, this is when this gets on YouTube. Bailey's going to find that. He's going to find this recording. I just know it. The 0-1 outside ball 1. I just know that when this game goes on YouTube, Bailey's going to find it. He's going to find the snippet of his home run, and he's going to cherish it for the rest of his life. 1-1. That and the baseball that just got tossed back to the dugout. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 Berry. Fly ball foul. Count now 2-2. Bailey Corley, man. 2-2. Fly ball still foul. Goes over the Meadowdale bleachers. However, the solo shot to left field, that is the icing on the cake of a very crazy game that has seen 24 combined runs, 15 of them by the Vikings, 2-2. Line shot into center field, past the glove of the shortstop, Cole Duncan. And the inning lives on in the bottom of the 6th. Now we have Zelasco. And now Tanner's going to second. As Tanner goes to second. A little confused about what happened there. Hunter Zelasco, the ball. If I had to guess, that got past the center fielder. And so that stretched into a double. Timeout by Hunter.
That's your box, Hunter. I like it.
I'm going to stretch that up into a two-bagger. If I had to guess, that ball got past the center fielder. I was looking at the scorebook when that part happened, and then everyone started freaking out. Barry, throw to second, not in time.
You are there. Wow. No. He's going. I'm back.
Hunter has yet to see a pitch from Caleb Barry. The first pitch. Fly ball that is playable, going to the second baseman. Number 17, Brady Johnson. For the second out of the 6th. I'm still in shock over what I just saw. Before the game, Bailey told me he was getting a shot at a pinch, as a pinch hitter. We didn't know for who, and we didn't know in what situation, but it just happened. Throw to second, not in time. As Theron Perkins is back up, he is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, 2 runs, my mistake, 3 runs, and 4 RBIs.
Go Theron. Come here, Theron. Go Theron.
And Barry, first pitch. Hard hit ball going to short right. Is that going to fall? Yes, it will. Tanner is going to score. It'll be an RBI bloop single for Theron Perkins. That is RBI number 5 on the afternoon. And the score is now 16-9, Lake Stevens. Here is Aaron Lampinen. He is 0 for 1. But has 4 official plate appearances, 2 of them ending in walks, 1 of them in a sacrifice fly. Theron running, throw to second is not in time, and Theron's got himself another stolen bag. Count will start at 1-0. And Barry throw to second, not in time. Ball gets away from the shortstop, Cole Duncan.
Hey, I got you.
Count stays at 1 ball and no strikes.
Let's go, Smalls. Game's knock right here, kid. I'm baby.
1-0. Inside ball 2, update from St. Mary's and Villanova. 1:50 left in the second half. Villanova leads by 6. Looking to run away with this game against the Gales, who upset Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Championship game. And the 2-0. Hard hit shot. This one going past the glove of a diving Cole Duncan. Theron's riding around third. It'll be an RBI single by Aaron Lampinen, and the runs keep piling up. Now Aaron's going to second off of the error by the left fielder. And the score now 17-9. And there is Trey Long, 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases.
Take a daddy hack, Trey. Bombs are cool too. Let's go now, baby.
And Caleb, the chopper, hits the fence right next to the Meadowdale dugout. Count starts at 0-1. And the next game for both of these teams, the Vikings starting conference play on Wednesday, March 27th on the road against the Jackson Timberwolves.
Here we go, I'm up.
Barry, the 0-1. Ground ball. This gets past the glove of a diving third baseman. And Aaron's going to stay at third. Trey, the throw to second. Is that in time? Yes, it is. And that'll end the 6th inning.
All right, let's go, Alex.
Aaron will go to third, and Trey Long, he hits a single. It'll be a 7,
13 re-enters.
5, 6, as he is out at second base. That is 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. 1 runner left on, highlighted by that solo home run by Bailey Corley, the left field, as we go into the top of the 7th inning. Tanner looking to close this one out in the top of the 7th inning. He'll face off against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Brady Johnson, Finn Wendt, and Nolan Eskew, assuming that those 3 hitters are not taken over by pinch hitters. The score now, Lake Stevens 17, Meadowdale 9, as we go into the top of the 7th inning. And we are now back to the top of the 7th inning. Tanner Lynn throwing a swing and a miss, strike 1 to the first hitter, Brady Johnson, the 6th hitter, who is 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 4th. Next pitch, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 0-2. Tanner will face off against Brady Johnson, Finn Wendt, and Nolan Eskew. No balls and 2 strikes. Wind up, and the 0-2 by Tanner. And a foul chopper towards the Meadowdale dugout. And Tanner throwing 31 pitches total entering this inning. And the 1-2, that is a foul ball, goes behind the Lake Stevens bleachers, hitting the sand. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2, fly ball, that's going into short center field. It'll be the center fielder, Cameron Austin, calling for that one for out number 1. Caden still at right, Devin McWaters still at left as we go into the number 7 hitter, the first baseman, one of 2 seniors on this team and one of 2 seniors in the lineup, Finn Wendt. First pitch is strike 1 looking, the other senior being Nolan Eskew, who's currently on deck. The next game for the Vikings, they'll play it next Wednesday against Jackson, the 0-1 inside ball 1. Well, the Meadowdale Mavericks, they're going to have to come back from this tomorrow. They'll be playing on the road against the Cascade Bruins. Count is even 1-1. Outside ball 2.
Go, Tanner. Go get him, kid.
On Friday, March 22nd, 2-1. Ground ball, this one going to Zelasco. The throw to Trey is off the glove of Trey, as Finn Wendt will stay at first off of the error. And the Cascade Bruins looking pretty good for themselves. They are 2 wins and 2 losses. They started off the year losing to Everett 1-0, and then sweeping Squalicum in a doubleheader back on March 16th by the score of 5-2 and 12-1. And then they lost to Archbishop Murphy back on Tuesday, 9-1. They'll be playing tomorrow at Cascade High School against Meadowdale. And the first pitch to number 6, Nolan Askew, is a ball 1. And the 1-0, foul ball. Count is even. And Tanner looking at Wennett, first to 1-1. And this just gets outside of the strike zone, inside ball 2. Tanner on line for the win in relief, while Connor Kaufman currently on line for the loss in the 2-1 pitch upstairs, ball 3. Count is 3-1. Tanner 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Meadowdale has runners on first and second. The Mavs trying to pick up where they left off back in the top of the 4th as we now go to Dalton Long again, who struck out swinging in the top of the 5th against Tanner. First pitch, ball 1 inside. Tanner getting the sign from Tommy. Look at it, went at second. And the 1-0. Check swing, ball 2. And the 2-0. Check swing, upstairs, ball 3. And we got a final score. Now it is Villanova 61, St. Mary's 57. 3-0. Strike 1 looking. Dalton Long thought for a split second. That was ball 4. And the 3-1. Strike 2 looking. Count is full. And the payoff pitch by Tanner. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikes out Dalton Long for the second time. And Lake Stevens has one more out from moving on to a 5-1 record. Now we go to the top of the order for the 5th time around in Parker Cumberland. 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. First pitch, a ball 1 outside. And the 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. And the 2-0. Strike 1 looking. 2-1. The 2-1 by Tanner. Fly ball, count is even at 2-2. Tanner is 1 strike away. And Tanner, the 2-2. Check swing outside, full count. Nolan Askew at first, Finn Went at second. The payoff pitch, fly ball, foul. Over the Meadowdale dugout, count still full. Payoff pitch, wind up. Ball 4, bases loaded. Meadowdale down by 8. They are planning the comeback of the century. Now there's one against Cole Duncan. First pitch. Apparently got to trademark that phrase. I'm not going to trademark that phrase because I don't think it's trademarkable. And the 1-0. Fly ball center field. Going back is Cameron Austin. Going back. Making the catch! And this one belongs to the Lake Stevens Vikings. An amazing ending to an amazing ball game. Cameron Austin with the running catch at the wall in left center field. The final score, Lake Stevens 17, Meadowdale 9. An amazing play by Cameron Austin. Lake Stevens moving up to 5 wins and 1 loss in non-conference play. Meadowdale still searching for their first win of the year. They are 0-3. The winning pitcher, Tanner Lynn. The losing pitcher, Connor Kaufman. Lake Stevens, they'll be playing next Wednesday, March 27th, for their first conference game against the Jackson Timberwolves. While Meadowdale, they're still searching for their first win. They'll be playing tomorrow at Cascade High School against the Bruins. Again, here from Lake Stevens High School at 6:45 p.m. Final score, Lake Stevens 17, Meadowdale 9. My name is Payne Patchett. You have been listening to Lake Stevens Vikings Varsity Baseball.